Mo3's death was a heartbreaking moment, and fans are still struggling to move on from the loss. But now, there's a shocking update, coming right after Yella Beezy's arrest in connection to the murder. According to new info, Beezy himself has revealed the final words Mo3 said to him before he was killed. Yeah, you read that right. The man accused of being involved is now sharing Mo3's last message. Was it a warning, a peace offering, something deeper? Stick around, because in this video, we're breaking down exactly what those final words were and why they might change everything you already knew about this case. Mo3's final moments. Dallas rapper Mo3, whose real name was Melvin Noble, was tragically gunned down in broad daylight on November 11, 2020, on a busy highway. According to authorities, the 28-year-old artist was cruising north on I-35 in South Dallas on a Wednesday when things took a deadly turn. Out of nowhere, a man in a dark-colored car pulled up beside him, not for a friendly wave or a nice ride compliment. This guy stepped out holding a gun like it was Grand Theft Auto in real life. Seeing the threat, Noble jumped out of his car and took off running down the freeway, probably thinking he could outrun the madness. Unfortunately, the gunman chased after him and started firing. Noble was hit, and so was an innocent bystander who just happened to be sitting in his own car, minding his business. Talk about the worst day to be on the road. Both men were rushed to the hospital, and while the bystander was expected to make it, Mo3 sadly didn't survive. As for the shooter, police said they had no clue what sparked the attack. The only description released was that the shooter was black. That was it back then. No name, no motive, no arrest, just a whole lot of questions. Mo3 wasn't just another face in the crowd either. He had racked up more than 800,000 followers on Instagram and made waves with his 2019 remix of Everybody alongside Baton Rouge rapper Boozy Badass. His talent was undeniable, and sadly, so was the violence that ended his life. Almost 5 years after Mo3 was gunned down in broad daylight on a Dallas freeway, there's finally been a major plot twist, and it's one no one saw coming. Dallas rapper Yella Beezy, yes, that Yella Beezy, has just been arrested and charged with capital murder in connection to Mo3's death. Yella Beezy, born Marquise Conway, is now accused of hiring a man named Q and White to pull the trigger on fellow rapper Melvin Noble, known to fans as Mo3. No word yet on why Conway would allegedly want Mo3 gone, and the indictment isn't offering any juicy details either. Authorities are keeping those cards close to the chest for now. Also missing in action is a lawyer for Conway. Court documents don't list one, and attempts to reach his reps have apparently gone unanswered. Somebody's phone is definitely on Do Not Disturb. Meanwhile, Mo3's mother, Nicole Williams Noble, took to Facebook after the arrest and let the world know exactly how she felt. "Justice for my baby." 4 exclamation marks and everything. As for Q and White, he was already facing charges in the murder and was later indicted along with another man, Devin Brown, 32. Their cases are still pending, meaning this courtroom drama is far from over. White, by the way, has already been sentenced to nearly 9 years in federal prison for a separate case involving illegal gun possession. That's a whole other saga. Now, if the name Yella Beezy sounds familiar, it's probably because of his hit 2017 track That's On Me, or maybe his 2019 collab Back at It Again with Quavo and Gucci Mane. Either way, his rap sheet just got a lot more attention than his discography. And now, Yella Beezy has stepped back into the spotlight, but not for a comeback track. The Dallas rapper, recently arrested in connection to Mo3's murder, was in court on March 26th, hoping to get his $2 million bond knocked down to something a little more wallet-friendly. Prosecutors came in loaded, literally, with footage. They played a video showing the alleged hitman chasing and firing at Mo3 right in the middle of I-35, then hopping back into his car like it was a drive-through hit. Investigators say they recovered 44 shell casings from the scene. That's not a shootout, that's a mini-war. But that wasn't all. Prosecutors told Judge Gracie Lewis they've got a witness ready to testify that Yella Beezy was part of a conversation about paying for the hit. Apparently, he withdrew $40,000 just days after Mo3's murder, and the state claims he helped cover a portion of that payout. As prosecutor Tommy Adams put it, Conway wasn't just in the chat, he was in the budget. The state also argued that Conway has both the motivation and the means to disappear if things heat up. The man drives around in a bulletproof Denali, which screams, "I know people might be coming for me," and according to 2020 bank records, he had $870,000, sitting pretty across checking and savings at just one bank. Must be nice. But Conway's grandma, Alma Jean Alexander, took the stand and tried to set the record straight. She said that while her grandson may have been wealthy at one point, if he actually had the money to cover a $2 million bond, he wouldn't still be sitting in jail.
You'd agree with me that your grandson is substantially well off, correct?
He might used to be, but if he could make a $2 million bond, he'd be out.
She made it clear that the mansion and armored SUV don't mean he's swimming in cash now. Defense attorneys clapped back, arguing that the state hasn't actually proven their client paid for anything. No texts, no DMs, no secret Cash App receipts, just someone claiming they overheard something. Basically, hearsay dressed up in court clothes. Judge Lewis wasn't exactly buying the "I'm broke" vibe, especially after seeing that financial statement, or lack thereof. She told Conway he didn't seem to take it seriously, and that wasn't sitting right with her. Still, she agreed to drop the bond to $750,000, but with strings attached. Conway was told loud and clear, don't contact, threaten, or send anyone to mess with witnesses or victims. She warned that if Conway, or anyone acting on his behalf, tried to do any of these, there would be serious consequences. And the way she said it, you knew she meant it. There's been a lot of speculation floating around about what really led to Mo3's death, and Reddit, of course, is on the case like a bunch of hood detectives with Wi-Fi. One recurring theory, it was all over a woman. Yep, not just street beef. Apparently, baby mama drama played a major role. According to one commenter, plenty of people had it out for Mo3, but the spark might have been personal. Word is, Mo3 messed with someone's baby mama, and the baby daddy wasn't having it. Instead of venting on IG like a regular toxic ex, dude allegedly put money on Mo3's head, a literal cash for kill situation. And the plot thickens. The guy who allegedly did the hit, he was supposedly cool with Trap Boy Freddy and Yella Beezy, adding fuel to long-standing rap beef rumors. Some said Mo3 was too trusting, especially with women connected to his ops. One user even claimed Mo3 got caught slipping because he was dealing with the wrong woman, and that move connected him to the very people who wanted him gone. Then there's the social media angle. Apparently Mo3 had been doing a lot of talking online, laughing about others getting shot, throwing jabs, getting cocky. 1 week before he died, he was reportedly clowning someone for getting hit, claiming it was a car accident. That didn't sit right with certain people. One commenter summed it up like this: it was street issues mixed with ego, social media, and a woman who might have been the link between all of it. Some said if things had been handled man to man, maybe Mo3 would still be here. But instead, pride, power, and petty decisions collided, and the outcome was deadly. These users went on to talk about what they really felt about Mo3's death. One user said they were still struggling with his loss, calling him so talented and someone everyone loved. If people looked past the views and clout, Mo3 had the skills to out-rap a lot of other artists in the game, and they meant it. The real ones know. Mo3 wasn't just another rapper chasing streams. He could really rap. Another pointed out he didn't even need to rap. His voice alone could have built an entire career off singing. The Chris Brown comparison started flying fast. One user asked if anyone had ever heard Chris Brown rap, saying he could outspit 99% of rappers but didn't need to, just like Mo3. They added that singing was where the real money was, and rapping was just the extra sauce. And the respect didn't stop there. One fan called out Mo3's track 219, saying he went crazy on it, especially when mocking Yella. Others reminisced about his rawness, versatility, and how he didn't hold back on social media. Love him or hate him, Mo3 had presence. Even some fans of Yella Beezy admitted they felt torn. Someone shared that Mo3 was one of their favorite artists, saying they really started getting into his music heavily before he was killed. They also mentioned that they liked Yella's music as well. That dual loyalty says a lot about how deep and complicated the Dallas scene was. Mo3's talent wasn't up for debate in that thread. One thing was clear: the streets lost a real one, and fans still haven't healed. But maybe if we dig a little deeper into Yella Beezy's past run-ins with the law, we might start to understand how he could have had it in him to be involved in something this cold. Yella's crime. Yella Beezy once found himself in cuffs in 2021 on Valentine's Day, but no, this wasn't about heartbreak. According to official records, the Dallas rapper, born Marquise DeAndre Conway, was arrested on Saturday night just before 11 p.m. in his hometown. The arrest went down in Oak Cliff, the very same neighborhood where Beezy grew up. And while the Dallas PD didn't rush to give an official statement, social media did what it does best: fill in the blanks. A video of Beezy's arrest quickly went viral, with fans sharing clips of police surrounding him as he stood in the street. The twist was that people claimed he was riding around the city wearing a bulletproof vest when the cops pulled him over, because apparently in Dallas, you don't just cruise, you roll armored. Initially, no one was quite sure what sparked the arrest, but the internet detectives wasted no time cooking up theories. Some thought it was a parole violation, others whispered about an open case, and a few just chalked it up to Beezy being a magnet for chaos. Well, it turned out that he was arrested for possession of a firearm and was later released from jail on the same day he was booked. On August 11, 2021, Yella Beezy was back in headlines. Again, not for music, but for another run-in with the law. The Dallas rapper was reportedly arrested in Texas on charges related to drugs and weapons, and the timing couldn't have been worse, considering he had just posted about police activity moments before it all went down. In a now-deleted Instagram story, Beezy showed flashing red and blue lights behind him while officers searched the trunk of his vehicle. He didn't say much, but he did write that the cops stay messing with him. That was the only commentary he gave before things escalated beyond Instagram stories and into actual jail time. According to TMZ, Beezy was taken into custody shortly after that video. Authorities hit him with 2 charges: possession of a controlled substance and unlawful carrying of a weapon. The drug charge was a felony, which meant serious business. The weapons charge was a misdemeanor, but still enough to cause problems. Beezy didn't release any statement about the arrest, and his team stayed quiet too. But fans quickly started piecing things together, especially since he had literally filmed the moment officers were digging through his car like they were looking for buried treasure. While the exact details of what officers found weren't immediately made public, the charges spoke loud enough. Another day, another headline, and once again, Beezy's name was being dragged across timelines for something other than a hit record. But that wasn't all Yella Beezy faced that year. In November, he was hit with serious accusations, misconduct and child endangerment, which had fans doing double takes and questioning everything. The news shook up social media, and the reactions weren't exactly filled with patience. The Dallas-born rapper, though, stayed calm and maintained that the whole thing was false from the jump. Fast forward to 2022, and it turns out Beezy was telling the truth, or at least the court seems to think so. According to reporters, both charges, misconduct and child endangerment/abandonment, were officially dropped. Even better for him, the case was no billed, which means his legal team can get the charges wiped off his record completely, like they never existed in the first place. Throughout the entire situation, Beezy had kept things pretty quiet, mostly because his lawyers told him to, but he did make a few statements along the way. He made it clear that he believed the accusations were totally false, and even though he couldn't dive into the details, he said the evidence would eventually speak for itself. He told fans that he wasn't stressing the case and that everything would work out. According to him, rumors fly faster than the truth, but the truth always catches up. And in this case, it did. With the charges dropped and no convictions tied to his name, Beezy walked away from the whole mess with his record clean and his head held high. Yella had also allegedly beaten up Mo3's manager, a man named Rainwater. Mo3 himself recorded a video in which he called out Yella for the senseless act.
Let me say it again. Rainwater, my manager, is not no street. He graduated high school and went to college, sir. Sir, you get what I'm saying? He was promoting and throwing college parties for a living. He wasn't selling drugs. He wasn't gang banging. He wasn't locking B's and C's.
Then in 2024, things took a wild turn for Chris Brown and several others, including Dallas rapper Yella Beezy, after a lawsuit dropped that could cost them a whopping $50 million. According to court docs filed in Houston, 4 men claimed they were brutally attacked and left hospitalized after attending the second night of Brown's 11/11 tour in Fort Worth at Dickies Arena. The lawsuit named Brown, Yella Beezy, real name Marquise Conway, UK rapper Cinco Siege, Omalolu, hood boss Akinlolu, and Live Nation as defendants. The plaintiffs, Larry Parker, Joseph Lewis, Charles Bush, and DeMarcus Powell, alleged that after the concert they were invited backstage along with around 40 women. Once in the VIP area, Brown reportedly told the women to hand over their phones before heading into a private room. About 30 minutes later, the group said they got tired of waiting and began to leave. Before exiting, Bush approached Brown, gave him a handshake, and told him it had been a while, but he was glad to see him doing well. Brown allegedly responded with appreciation, but that peace didn't last long. Someone in the entourage reportedly yelled that the 2 men were beefing, and that's when everything exploded. According to the suit, Brown allegedly told his crew to handle Bush. As Bush tried to leave with his group, they were followed by Brown and 7 to 10 men. Cinco Siege reportedly punched Bush in the chest, while Akinlolu allegedly launched a chair at his head. Brown then allegedly pointed at Parker and ordered Conway and others to attack him. Parker ran toward a staircase trying to escape through a locked door, but was allegedly cornered and stomped, punched, and kicked in the head and chest for over 10 minutes. The others were also reportedly assaulted, suffering injuries to their heads, necks, backs, and shoulders. But who exactly is Yella Beezy, and how did he end up living a life like this? Marquise DeAndre Conway, better known as Yella Beezy, was born on October 22, 1991, and raised in Dallas, Texas. His early life wasn't easy. When he was just 12, his father was shot and killed at their home on Mother's Day. That kind of trauma changes a person. Growing up, he played basketball and football and dreamed of going pro, but life had other plans. As a teenager, Conway joined the Crips and started selling drugs to help support his family. He attended Lancaster High School, where he did manage to graduate, despite everything going on around him. His passion for music kicked in early. He started writing lyrics at 13, inspired by artists like Boozy Badass and Kevin Gates. A year later, he dropped his first mixtape, Mash Mode Overload. By 2012, he followed it up with Lil Yella Mane, slowly building his name on the Dallas rap scene. Things started shifting in 2015 when he dropped Trappin' Designer off his Broke Nights Rich Days mixtape. That song song gave him his first taste of recognition. But 2017 was the real glow-up moment with his Lightwork Vol 2 mixtape, which included the track that changed everything, That's On Me. The song peaked at number 56 on the Billboard Hot 100, and that success landed him a deal with L.A. Reid's label Hitco, thanks to A.Gay Ander exec Chris Turner. The momentum kept going. In 2018, Yella Beezy released Ain't No Going Back, featuring collabs with Kevin Gates, Lil Baby, and a stacked remix of That's On Me with 2 Chainz, T.I., and Boosie Badass. That same year, he even opened for Jay-Z and Beyonce on their On the Run 2 tour in Dallas and Houston. By 2019, he dropped Back in Beezy under Hitco, which included bangers like Back at It Again with Quavo and Gucci Mane, and Restroom Occupied with Chris Brown. He was also featured on Ruby Rose's single Hit Yo Dance alongside NLE Choppa, in what was quite similar to how Mo3 was killed. On Sunday, October 14th, 2018, Yella Beezy had a brush with death. While driving on the Sam Rayburn Tollway, someone pulled up next to his car and unloaded more than a dozen shots. The Texas rapper was hit 3 times, but somehow survived the ambush. Police found him around 3:30 a.m., wounded but alive, and rushed him to a nearby hospital. According to detectives in Louisville, Beezy was in stable condition. What made this even wilder was the timing. Beezy was just starting to blow up. His hit single That's On Me had cracked the Billboard Hot 100, sitting at number 88, and he had just secured an opening slot for Beyonce and Jay-Z during their On the Run 2 tour stop in Arlington. Things were looking up until they weren't. In a Rolling Stone interview not long before the shooting, Beezy talked about how That's On Me wasn't even something he expected to take off like that. He said it started out as just something he was playing around with, but once people started vibing to it, especially in the streets and the strip clubs, it took on a life of its own. It was one of those songs that crept up from the underground, building steam day by day until it was everywhere. And just as his star was rising, the bullets came flying. Yella Beezy allegedly having a hand in Mo3's death didn't just come out of nowhere. It was the result of a much deeper, long-standing rivalry that had been brewing for years. The brutal rivalry. Mo3, born Melvin Noble, came into the world in McKinney, Texas, but it was North Dallas that really raised him. He later attended Berkner High School in Richardson, all while building the foundation for what would become one of the most emotionally raw rap careers out of Texas. He dropped his debut mixtape, Sheltaz, in 2014, and that same year he started getting serious attention thanks to his remix of Mr. Lucci's track Hold Your Tongue.
Okay, and your first few big songs were like Hold Your Tongue, All the Way Down?
Yeah, that's the song, Hold Your Tongue. That was the remix.
That remix wasn't just a freestyle, it was a statement. People in the city started paying attention, and the buzz followed him everywhere. By 2020, he had a full-blown hit on his hands with Broken Love, especially once Kevin Gates jumped on the remix. That record blew up and ended up going double platinum. Yep, 2 times platinum certified by the RIAA. Mo3 was officially on. According to his obituary, he realized just how far he'd come while filming the video for Broken Love. That was the moment he knew he made it. Not long after its release, the track was trending at number 8 on a major top 10 chart. Then came Badass Mo3, his collab album with Boosie Badass, which landed him a spot on the Billboard 200. After his passing, Sheltaz 4, Ava dropped and climbed to number 36 on the chart. He also popped up on the 2021 remix of OG Bobby Billion's Outside, which hit number 92 on the Billboard Hot 100. Even after death, his voice was still climbing the charts. Mo3's career was just about to take off for real when his life was cut short. A year after his passing, fans kept his memory alive with hashtags like #LongLive3, #L3, and #LongLiveMo3, flooding timelines with their favorite track, music videos, and emotional throwback. He wasn't just a rising star in music, he was dipping his toes into acting, and things were starting to click. His last major move was a role in a film called Triple D Revenge. Written and directed by Mr. E. Mo3 played a character named Draco, sharing the screen with Roderick Watson and Brandon Crissell. The film followed a young man, unable to read, who sets out to take down the drug lord responsible for a family member's death. And Mo3 wasn't just thrown into the role, he actually trained for it. Mr. E told reporters that Mo3 took acting classes seriously and was really committed to the process. He said Mo3 had opened up to him about wanting to act for a long time and saw this project as his chance to prove he could do more than just rap. It was clear Mo3 wasn't planning to stay in one lane. His brand was growing, and he was ready to take it beyond music. And that love he had for his city, it was mutual. On May 31st, his birthday, Big Mama's Chicken and Waffles, one of his go-to spots, hosted a celebration in his honor. His estate handed out free plates, and balloons filled the sky as fans came to together to show love. Mo3 always kept the music coming, constantly dropping singles and mixtapes. He left behind a catalog that still hits, whether you've been day one or just now figuring out how real his talent was. The loyalty he showed to his roots, that's what made people ride for him. His obituary said he traveled the world, inspired kids, and made people want to level up just through his music. He wasn't just rapping, he was healing. Mo3 was only 28 when he was killed in 2020, and he left behind 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son. The rivalry between Mo3 and Yella Beezy wasn't just 2 rappers throwing shade. It was part of a much bigger, long brewing tension in the Dallas rap scene. Both were coming up fast, both were from the same city, and both were aiming for the same spotlight. Naturally, things got competitive, and like any real rap beef, it didn't stay in the booth. Reports say the tension partly came down to who had the real claim to Oak Cliff. Mo3 and Yella Beezy both repped it, but not everyone agreed they had equal roots there. Diss tracks flew back and forth, the subs on Instagram non-stop, but anytime someone asked if they had real problems with each other, they'd brush it off like it was nothing.
At one point, there was some sort of friction between y'all, and he explained it on another interview how it was just some stupid that a girl was trying to get in the middle of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really wasn't any kind of real beef. It seemed like the internet was trying to churn to something that it's not.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing.
Before his death in 2020, Mo3 had already been speaking on real-life situations through his music. And if you listen closely, he was dropping receipts. In his 2019 track 219, Mo3 referenced the infamous shooting on the Sam Rayburn Tollway. But he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about Yella Beezy. The line went, "You heard about that rapper that got shot on the tollway." A not-so-subtle jab aimed straight at his rival, who had survived a drive-by just a year earlier. But Mo3 wasn't just throwing shots. He was also warning the world about the danger circling around him. And out the gym, he rapped about there being a price on his head, making it clear that he knew there were people plotting. At the time, it might have sounded like regular rap bravado, but looking back, it feels more like a man documenting the storm before it hit. But things took a darker turn when Dallas comedian Roy Lee Pate, who was close to Mo3, got shot in North Dallas. He had previously questioned Yella Beezy's Oak Cliff ties back in 2017, and a year later, he passed away from complications linked to that shooting. Just one day after Pate died, Yella Beezy himself was shot 3 times in Louisville. The streets started connecting dots, whether the artist wanted to or not. In 2024, when Yella Beezy was asked why he had never acknowledged Mo3's death, he shrugged it off.
Why couldn't you ever acknowledge 3 before or after his death?
I never, what was the point?
And now, with Yella Beezy facing capital murder charges, everything has come full circle. What started as a bitter rivalry fueled by music, street politics, and personal vendettas has now spiraled into a courtroom saga that's far from over. If you found this video informative, click on any of the cards on your screen to check out more trending stories.